For many in New Zealand, the 1980s are remembered as a decade of opulence and optimism. But for Murray Forbes, who just joined the Wellington Armed Offenders Squad, it was far from it. In April 1983, Murray's squad was called out after a man fired a shotgun in a crowded bar. What began as a routine job became a turning point for the AOS.
I'll never forget it. Paul Chase shooting, the one in Petone, was the first call out I had.
Paul Chase had fired shots in the hotel the night before. He had gone home. We had information that he needed to be located as quickly as possible. He lived in a block of flats in Petone.
The understanding we had is that it could well have been a gang place. There could have been a lot of people there, you know. And for all we knew, the firearm was still in the building.
Not wanting to wake the whole neighbourhood with a loud hailer, commanders decided to send a team into the building, enter the flat, and recover the firearm as quickly as possible.
It was dark. We had to go through all these stairs and then bang on the door.
Help him! Help him!
And we kicked the door in because he could well have had the firearm.
Come, police!
We found that the door had been barricaded, and Paul Chase came out.
Into the darkness of the barricaded corridor appeared a man holding something long and shiny.
What appeared to the officer, a shotgun.
Police, drop it!
We heard the shot and got a call that there was a man down, so we all went forward. And he was this fellow. He was lying there, and I spoke to him. He was fine, you know, so no trouble. We got the ambulance, and within half an hour, we got a call from control and said that this fellow died.
What had appeared to be a shotgun was in fact a steel exercise bar.
The newspaper sort of attacked us, which was probably the right thing to do, you know. Just went on and on. Every day the paper had it for months. And Taff and I, who'd sent the chaps forward, were as much responsible as the man who pulled the trigger, you know.
The public reaction was unprecedented.
New Zealand must not develop a kill first and ask questions later mentality.
Killed for carrying an exercise bar? Once again, the AOS came under intense scrutiny, but support came from the highest office.
If I'd been the policeman, I'd have shot him, frankly. And I think any reasonable person would say exactly that.
After an inquiry, the shooting was found to be justified, but the public outrage put squads on notice throughout the country. And the toll on those officers involved was enormous, even if the impact wasn't visible on the surface.
Men, well, policemen in general, I think in that situation show very little emotion. And that's also very, very scary, you know, that they just bottle it all up.
It was the week after. We went home and we went to see some relations. And we had an auntie there called Auntie Addie. And she said, so you shot my nephew? I said, hey? I didn't know what she was talking about. She said, yeah, Paul, you shot Paul. And I started explaining it to her. And she was a lovely old woman. She would have been way 70, 80. She was lovely, and she just put an arm around my shoulder and she said, never mind, son. That's a shit. That took a while to go away, you know.
Well, there was no actual need for them to burst into that flat.
What should they have done?
They should have staked the place out and waited until it was broad daylight.
The huge media spotlight on the Paul Chase shooting brought the job into the public eye.